Good morning, Hardy Watchers. Those that are joining us at 10 to the hour this very brisk Sunday morning here at Anglesey. And the third session is about to get underway. So half of our weekend's racing is done and dusted. And the Cohort Tin Tops, Puma Cup and Lowen Turbo Tin Tops are ready to get the action going into the dark hours. Or continue the action going, I should say. Chris Buxton with you at this early hour. Alongside me is, to my huge pleasure, Paul Tarsi. Welcome back, Paul.
Do you know, huge and Paul Tarsi are often put in the same thing, but different ways.
I feel it would be somewhat disingenuous for me to make that particular comment, considering my own addition to the mass of the worlds.
You know, there is something about race cars in the dark, and that we've seen some fabulous stuff whilst whilst you've been away.
Yes,
we haven't, but our listeners and viewers have been away, and we're now back and ready for our next go.
Our next instalment, right? Absolutely. So yes, I've seen many a night race, but never in the flesh. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. So this is the third session for our first group, as they are just grid for race 1C. So the first group on its third outing of the weekend. Adam Brown in the Fiesta is taking the top spot. Manoj Patel, Honda Civic alongside. Then on row 2, the man that almost got the victory in the first race of the weekend is Phil Briggs. Alongside him is Andy Marson, beg your pardon, in the 59 Fiat. And then it is the two-car team, Sean Ely and Blair Roebuck on row 3. A couple of gaps, as you can really expect. You know, not everybody has survived the the attrition leading to this point. Richard Marson starts on the outside of row 4. Then it is the Selby Harris car, the Turbo Tin Top Fiesta, that's had a bleed valve in the radiator run loose, which dumped all its coolant on the road, somewhat inconvenient. You could argue in the opening race. Then it is Carter Boyle 5.9, the House Tate combined car, and then it's on row 6. 97, it is the Turbo Tin Top Mini of Seekers and Grimm, and on the outside is James Wilson in the 234 car. Then row 7, the Treble 9 Mini of Francis and Wortley, alongside the 155 car of Spencer and Walker. Row 8 is the two-car team of Liam Place and Lee Dorton. As you can see, slightly further back, you got. We can see the gap starting to form. We did originally have 30 entries for this event, but the attrition will start to wear on. But we can't go through the entire grid now, as they are now coming through the final corner, ready to get this next race underway in the full darkness. The lights looking amazing, and away we go. The good start from Manoj Patel, actually, to challenge the lead coming down to turn 1, but the inside line belonging to Adam Brown as they work their way through up towards the banking. As the field continue to work their way past us. Everybody has survived turn 1 okay. Now watching the cameras as they come through the banking. Manoj Patel, it's difficult to identify his car in the flood of light. I think he has managed to hang on to second position now, coming back into our view across the other side of the circuit. Well, Adam Brown certainly has the top spot. It's not Manoj Patel in second. He is actually down into third now, being challenged by Andy Marson in the Fiat Abarth. It looks like everybody has survived the opening salvo of this night race.
But they're very much into the darkness now. There are patches of light, and there are some places where it is absolutely pitch black. And Rocket is one of them. We can see the cars disappearing into the left-right kink up there at the top of the hill, but it's then completely dark as they then come all the way back down to the corkscrew. And it's the way that endurance racing should be. That it's very much a question of that they are in the darkness, and then they'll come into a puddle of light, obviously start-finish line, and the whole of the pit area is properly lit. But the vast majority of this is in darkness, and that is the way that it should be.
It's certainly the way it is for this event. I must admit, this is my maiden voyage of dark racing. Coming back past us now is Phil Briggs, really hustling Adam Brown hard. Manoj Patel has from only a couple of seconds off the tail end, but has given himself a bit of a gap from Andy Marston. Then it's Sean Eady, the two-car team, supporting the number 2. And Sean's Peugeot that is out there to start with. Blair Roebuck waiting in the wings, as we saw earlier on. Just keeping an eye on the timing screen to see if we've lost anybody at this early stage. Doesn't look like it. Now the car's coming back past us once again along the backside of the circuit. Still Adam Brown keeping Phil Briggs, that's an impressive turbo say at bay.
Yeah, but only just. And as they go down the backstretch and then pull up the hill towards the left, right, and rocket, there's very, very little between these two, and that it's going to be a real nip and tug for the rest of this race up in the front of the field. You say, Chris, that this is your first night race for real, and I'm sure it is for quite a few people out there as well.
Absolutely, yes. Upon speaking to a number of drivers throughout the course of the weekend, it's not just their first night race. Sometimes it's their first visit here. So combining the two is quite a challenge for some drivers. Their first tentative laps in qualifying yesterday was the very first time they turned the wheel at this incredible circuit. So, additional challenge for some of our drivers.
And we've talked a bit about Silverstone over the course of yesterday. This is yesterday.
It is yesterday now, yes.
And other circuits are available. And it's quite interesting that when you look around the circuit, there is very little in the way of traditional, as we now think, traditional runoff area. That there aren't any huge gravel traps, there aren't any high resistance tarmac runoffs, there aren't anything like that. It's track and grass.
Yes.
And that if you're not on the track, you're on the grass. And that's quite daunting for some people as well.
Yes, indeed. It forces better behaviour where you can't get away with doing things. There's two sides to that argument. You either see it as it forces you to do things better or not take advantage of your entry speed into corners, or there's more opportunity to recover from mistakes, so keep cars running. Take that argument as you will. There'll be arguments on both sides of that, both camps of that argument.
I think that really in a circuit like this, which I don't think there are any dangerous areas. It's not like somewhere like Goodwood, for example, where very little has changed over the years. They've managed to maintain their circuit license since they reopened the racetrack in 1998. But there's not any big runoff areas, but it's safe. What you've got here is certainly safe because you've got these big grass areas. But what it does mean is that if you go wide, I talked about Cobb's Corner and Silverstone yesterday, and the fact that before the circuit limits was changed for the first of June this year, that people were just taking the mickey and using far too much track on the outside of that. You can't do that because what you've got is that if you're not on the black stuff, you're on the green stuff, and that's going to cost you time at the very least.
Well, yes, you hit the green fuzzy stuff at pace, and you could well cause some damage to your car. Now, there has been a couple of changes of position. I see that Andy Marston has gotten past Manoj Patel for third in this current session. I did also see that Sean Eady and James Wilson that were very, very close together. James deep throat from that 5th spot at this point, but Adam Brown cannot catch a break at all, cannot get away from that incredible Seat of Phil Briggs at this point. Side by side indeed. That must have been a guessing that those are the headlights they're belonging to. But yes, I can see that's Adam Brown's bright white Fiesta in the additional lumens on the front of the Seat. So they're now coming down towards the bus stop, so they'll be coming back into our view. But Phil Briggs wasted no time at all in getting up through the grid, getting on the back of that Fiesta. Phil Briggs didn't have quite such a good run into that last corner, so it's given Adam Brown as good a breathing space as he's had so far in the opening round of the race. They're already getting to the back of the tail end of the field, so they'll be facing traffic within the next few laps.
Now, if, wherever you're watching this live stream, and if you are watching this live stream, we'd love to know where you are. We'd love to know which part of the world you're in, whether you're watching in the UK, or please let us know if you're in a different part, and what you think about the whole night racing thing. Have you been night racing before? Have you enjoyed it? Where have you seen night racing? Because it happens all over the country, all over the world. We'd love to know, so go on to my YouTube channel and please just in the comments let us know what you think of night racing and whether you've seen it live.
Yes, absolutely. We'd be very interested to have some audience participation with us. We've seen that happen if you comment. Come in Recycle Racing. That's from Jenny Roebuck, who is the partner of Blair Roebuck. His car is sitting patiently in the wings. Oh, we're just seeing a slightly wayward Puma there, a number 101 car who had a terrible run in the first race, in the opening race of the weekend, the Gareth Cott. 3 wheels left on the wagon. It's great to see the car back out there, pushing possibly a little bit too hard. It is quite breezy out there. You can't see that entirely on the stream, of course it's dark, but coming in, we were commenting how warm it was throughout the course of the day yesterday. Well, it is really brisk, and the wind will certainly catch some people out, because very calm air through the course of the day yesterday. Now that the wind's picked up a bit, that is going to be making the cars behave a little bit different through the course of the race.
And talking of wind and weather and all those sorts of things, the forecast for the rest of the night is pretty good. It's going to carry on very much as it is. 12 degrees centigrade, which is a little character building, but nonetheless it's okay. But by the time we get to 9 o'clock in the morning, the weather forecast is now saying there's a 40% chance of rain at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, running through right until 11. So from 9 till 11 and beyond, 40% chance of rain. And then it gets all lovely again. But that's changed since our weather update before it was done. So yes, it's certainly the Le Mans expression, le chat dans les pigeons.
I would nod and say yes, hopefully in the right place.
But yeah, F1 pigeons would be what we would be expecting to find there. But
now, amazingly, we've had some answers to that very question we posed on where people are watching from.
That's not amazing. We have some wonderful viewers.
We do have some amazing. We have some American people watching from Florida. Son Blair is in the tar, so that'll be from Martin. His son Blair is in the Recycle Racing pairing. Oh, we've had an entry into the pit. That is, it's difficult to see because I can only see the tail of the car. I didn't identify which number it was, but I'm not too sure you can see who that is. That is the Mark Kirby Alex Econ car that has come in. Oh, the pit lane is open. Nattering away, having so much fun. I completely missed that the pit lane's actually open. So no, that's not a problem. That it could well be a driver change, although they don't seem to be actioning that with any urgency. But it is a mandatory 1 minute 30 pit stop from pit in to pit out.
Driver out.
Driver is indeed out. Oh, now there's some urgency going not. So that's good, which means they're wanting to get the car back on the road again. So looking at the other comments we've seen, son is racing the number 88, and they're from Texas, so some American viewers. Excellent stuff. That's great to see. There's a lot of multinational interest. So the 88 is the James Rogerson and Chris Sawyer car, the Ford KA, which is still rotating. Yes, it is. The Ford KA is still out there.
Did you say that he is actually in Florida?
Well, the driver is.
No. The father.
No, that would be the. That's yes. Texas was that particular comment. The one from Florida is the parent of Blair Roebuck. Never experienced anything like it. Us Mellor girls are watching from the paddock, supporting Daddy in car number 23. That's Nick Mellor. That is out there. Fantastic. Watching from Missouri in the US. There goes Sean and Blair. A lot of support for the Recycle Racing pair, which is fantastic to see. And Sean Eady is out there in the moment, I think 5th place currently, which they're doing a fantastic job at the moment. We're at the top of the hill watching, and it's pitch black up here. Yes, it is very dark up there. Another viewer from Texas, howdy from Texas, cheering on our guys in number 88. That is again, that is the James Rogerson and Chris Sawyer. Welcome to those that are watching live. We very much appreciate your viewership and of course your interaction with us in these dark hours, or dark for us I should say. It really does add to the kind of overall atmosphere. I was speaking to one of the organisers, Dave Smith, as I came in, and the atmosphere from all the participants and our incredible Orange Army, huge shout out to them who are making sure that everything is up to standard through these dark hours. We literally couldn't do it without them, and our great team at Alpha Live providing us with the stream footage and all the camera work where we literally couldn't see without them. So great stuff from all officials and participants.
Yep, and we still have a motor race going on out there in the dark. We talked a bit earlier on, Chris, about the fact that quite a few people haven't raced in the dark before, and there's something very different for them as well. It's something which is quite daunting and quite challenging, not just for the obvious bits, but it's they have been here and racing since lunchtime yesterday, and they were qualifying yesterday morning, so it's already been quite a mammoth enterprise. There's nobody out there with more than 2 drivers. The majority of people are running solo, so it is endurance in the truest sense of the word.
Absolutely so. There's some moisture on one of the cameras. Oh dear, someone's car is leaking something somewhat unfortunate. Somewhat severe, I'd say, judging by that. I can see there is a car being pushed along the pit lane, assuming the one that's been responsible for the aforementioned leak. I can't quite tell who that is.
It looks like a Fiesta.
White, which made me think of Chris Herwood, but Chris Herwood is not in his own car. So I'm hoping it's not Adam Brown, because he's still circulating. So no, to see which white car that could be. I didn't think it was the Fletchers, because that's not for a male. Exactly as you were saying, that looked Fiesta shaped. Hopefully we'll see when someone goes missing on the timing screen. Let me identify who it is. That potentially could be the 117. Not certain. But we will see on the time screen who or if anybody is shown as missing at this venture. The Kirby Nikon car is great. The car that is 69 car, which is the Griffiths man wearing car. Could have been them. We will see. As that's obviously one of the downsides of night racing aspect. But a few more pit stops going on now. More expected than certainly some others, but the racing action continues. Another comment I see here from Justin on YouTube. I love the club racing in the UK has such a variety of races and does endurance style events like this. I hope the clubs here in the States can start doing more events like this. That's a sort of comment I've seen before where, from American viewers, or indeed some European viewers as well, that it's often, you know, UK is leading the way in the style and variety of racing that goes on, and the club, Classic Sports Club, will be heading to America towards the tail end of the year for a couple of events. So now, those that are in the States get to actually see what the club is all about.
I've been in the commentary box for several of those events in the US over the years. Should I say the announcers? There is a translation difference there, but I've done that with historic sports car racing. Run the classic 12 hours and the 24 hours classic at Daytona, both of them proper. And they both run to this kind of format, so race after race after race. And for all of our US listeners and viewers, do have a look at Historic Sports Car Racing website, because they run some fabulous events. We will be part of, hopefully, both Sebring and Daytona. We'll be bringing some cars over for that. But what we do have is that those are really, really good events. They're very flexible. Daytona is the jewel in the crown, and in fact you get some fabulous cars. But HSR also have a principle of saying that they will find a class for anything that is historic. Quite interesting is that in the US, the definition of historic, or actually technically vintage, as another difference in language, that the definition of vintage in the US is anything. So therefore,
I can understand that. Yeah.
You'll see at Daytona race cars which are perhaps 4 years old.
Because it's not current anymore. Yeah, something is superseding.
Yeah, so it's great. But yeah, all of our US viewers, please have a look at HSR. There is also the SVRA, which is a similar organisation, and they run some great events as well. So do have a look at the Historic Sports Car Racing website, and they'll give you all the things that they are doing. And I think after that plug, they will be to the team opening a sandwich. But the other thing is that they've run very effectively for many, many years. George Tuma is the man who ran it with David Hinton. George passed away a few years ago. David has been running it on his own for a while. He, 2 years ago, sold the business to Gibson.
Oh.
And as we know, Gibson is in turn part of NASCAR.
They know how to run a racing team.
And one of the things that NASCAR is doing with HSR is historic NASCAR racing.
That will appeal to a great many.
So again, another brilliant reason for get to Daytona, get to Sebring, get to the Mitty of Atlanta. All of those are great events. The Mitty, incidentally, is called the Mitty because the very first event, one driver and wife said, "You're all just balls of Mitty dreaming of being racing drivers." And it's now officially called the Mitty.
Well, there you go. Now, the car that was leaking oil, we saw earlier, was actually our race leader. It was a car I didn't think it was Adam, because I thought he was still circulating at the time, but no, Adam Brown has had to work off. It's rather unceremoniously leaking fluid, so he's done the right thing and pulled that one away. What a shame, because he had such a storming start. He was keeping Phil Briggs honest at the front of the field. So now it's Andrew Marson in one of the number of Fiesta Abarths that we have attending this event, with Manoj Patel hot on his heels for the lead of the race. There is another one of the Marson Army, as I call them, in the paddock show. I shall hopefully get to see a little bit later on. Myself and Jack Merrill had a bit of a chat to several people. The Marson family was some of the people we spoke to. They run a Fiesta Abarth business, so they're somewhat specialised in preparing that type of car, and wow, they've done great things with the little Fiat. They are so batting above their weight, figuratively and literally. It is absolutely great to see, and it's growing as well. They're all cousins that all take part, including the master sponsored one. I confess I've forgotten the name of the gentleman who's kind of added himself to that particular camp. Well, there is the 59 car on stream, just being pushed away as Andrew Marson, who was leading the way. That's the one I was just trying to think of. It's James Manning. That's again another relative of the Marson family. You can see the Marson name plastered on the car. You'll also see it's a name that makes me chuckle every time I see it. When we see the car come past, the cameraman looks at the rear bumper, it should say Fat Moose, and it makes me chuckle every time that one comes past. I haven't had a chance to figure out, to ask James what that is. But some viewers may wonder why they shoved the cars. Well, these cars are made to go fast very well. They don't like going slowly. So the nature of the clutch means that they're quite susceptible to stalling. Let's see if we can get the there it is. Yep, Fat Moose on the bottom bumper of the car. It makes me chuckle when I see it. Yeah, a number of cars, more recent and some of the classic cars, sometimes need a bit of help to just get rolling again to prevent a stall. So they're designed to go very, very well, very quickly. They don't like going slowly. They sound awful. Sound like a cement mixer full of spanners.
One of the funny things though is I remember talking to the driver, a very successful driver in Florence, and I said, do you really need to do the moving from side to side on the green flag lap to supposedly warm the tyres up? And is that something you need to do? And he said, I don't know, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that pushing the car in the pits is probably very similar, that once you've done it, because you have it might make a difference.
Yes, I totally understand that. There'll be drivers that have, they do things habitually rather than for any other reason. As the number 69 car now gets underway, that is Ben Brain and Wayne Pocock. Renault Clio, so new drivers to the colours to Ben a couple of times in the course of the weekend. So for the time being, top of the table is Manoj Patel. I think everybody has been in that is still circulating. Actually, everybody that started the race has been in. So
we now have a race.
We do indeed, and quite a gap in between Manoj Patel and Phil Briggs, incredibly. Now, Phil Briggs is still the one with the fastest lap, somewhere along the line. Now, it could be that Phil Briggs was serving a penalty. Confess I didn't look to see who had success penalties in the course of the race. And there is the Ford KA, Chris Sawyer, sporting the American flag on the side. I've forgotten whose flag that is, actually. I've not really gone blank on that one.
I'm not going to guess because there'll be an international incident if I get it wrong. But it's
again, multinational in our drivers as well as our spectators. We do have some drivers from a variety of different nations. This car, a prime example. We've seen this car before. We've either seen this particular car or another KA in similar colours. I'm pretty sure it is the same one. Again, prepared by Burton. So we've seen this car in a few different hands, once or twice. It is somewhat outgunned, but it's still amazing to see the competitors in all types of cars. Very much what you were saying earlier about we'll find a category for you. Very similar ethos here, as long as you have the necessary safety equipment, which of course is mandatory no matter what you're running and no matter where you're running it. It's one of these things that as long as you meet the necessary standards, you will find somewhere for you to race.
And I think that the other side of that is that you don't get in this fast racing one particular car which is very successful. Let's say it's a Fiesta, and everybody goes out to a Fiesta. But people will say, no, I want to run an Abarth, that I want to run a Seat or whatever, and then you get this incredible variety rather than everybody slavishly following the same format because Joe Soap is quicker than you are in whatever it might be.
Well, that tower has updated itself. Renault may have been a little bit late to the pits, just by his last lap, 3:16, so that's a pit stop and an out lap. The timing line is still broken when the car is in the pit, so sometimes the lap time can be slightly skewed for that reason. So Renault is now in third place, Phil Briggs in the way with Andy Marson, so the lucky little Abarth is still hanging on in there. Phil Briggs has just gone past us. He just heard on the street there that supercharged Mini. I do like that noise. I commented on that in the first race. There's a couple of Minis that take part in races with the CSCC to have that really distinct line. John Wyatt, another one on the turbo TikTok Mini running, who isn't with us this weekend, is another one that has that really distinct sound. And even though a lot of the tin top cars, the vast majority of the tin top cars are 2 litres, they're the naturally aspirated cars. They're mixing with the turbo tin tops, so you just get this wonderful variety, not just of the car, but of the sounds that they all make. And each engine has, in some way, its own little nuance. Some cars you can identify, oh, okay, that's such and such just coming over the horizon, either by the aforementioned supercharger, in the case of the Mini, or in some cases they have like Dylan Popovich's earth-shattering 7 litres, or Steve Pickering actually in his 5 litre Sunbeam Tiger, who was out in the previous race. There are some cars you hear before you see.
Yes, I think that's true, and that's with the many years that I went to Le Mans, and it was when I first went to Le Mans, which was the 70s, that there was no lighting at all. So it was all completely pitch black. Lighting across the start-finish line and that bit there, everything else was dark, and you actually learned to identify the headlights. That's a Porsche, that's an Alpine, whatever it might be. And the other thing you was to identify the noise.
Yes.
And I was there when Johnny Herbert, John Gasho, won in the Mazda, and you didn't need to know that was a Mazda. You heard it, and the same about that charismatic noise that Mazda shaking like a badge in different Mazdas, and that you just knew it.
I've heard the engine again in not in full song as in when it's been displayed. I know exactly what you mean. That's yes. I think a politically correct way would be distinct.
It's far more than that, but that is that is politically correct. As you quite rightly say.
That flag, again, I knew I should have relied on our wonderful viewers. It's the Texan flag. That was the one we were uncertain about. So thank you very much to those confirming that in chat. That is for Rogerson. So they've come a long way. Assuming that they haven't commuted just from this. But
however you cut the cake, pick a long way.
Well, yes, absolutely. And unfortunately, that very car has just made its way back into the pit lane again. So upon identifying, I mean, I'll take the commentator's custom. I'm not paying the repair, but I'll take the custom. The 88 has just reappeared into the pit. Now, unfortunately, it's stopped right underneath our position. We can't see what frantic action may be taking place on the 4KA, but yes, they have sadly brought my car back in again. The second pit stop does usually mean a fairly terminal problem. They do have one more session to see off the weekend. Later on in the day, oh, he's back out again. Okay, so he wasn't happy about something, but he's gone back out. So 4KA survives.
You know, it could be something as minor as a dirty windscreen.
Very true. Yes.
So yeah, let's not commit them to the virtual dustbin yet. I think they're back out there and running. And
yes.
In conversation with our viewers and listeners out in the big wide world, I'd like to know if you have ever been to a racing car. Where? What do you think? There's all sorts of different races. We know we've got a lot of viewers in the US and certainly in some states. They've got two of the greatest endurance racing circuits in Sebring and Daytona. But there are endurance races in many different parts of the US. But even if you're listening in Europe or in the UK, where have you been? Have you been to Le Mans? Have you been to any of those sorts of places? Let us know what you saw, what you thought, how you got there, and the stories that you have about a trip to wherever you go.
I've commentated on the virtual scene. I come from the sim racing world, so Sebring is a circuit I have commentated on in virtual guides. And if I was to use one word to describe Sebring, it would be bumpy.
It's very bumpy. They're still using the concrete that was the original
airbase.
Yeah, training. And the track has changed a bit over the years, but the start finish line and the backstretch and all of that is exactly analog. It's not most of circuits. They've got a wonderful thing that over the pits, each pit has a winner is got by.
I've seen that. Yeah, that's a great touch.
Makes you shudder when you see it.
Yeah.
There is so much history there. But please let us know of the events that you've been to, and also, of course, the ones that you intend to go to. Maybe you're the man who nearly went to China, but it's maybe one day you're going to go to Le Mans. But do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you, and we're enjoying the racing here at Anglesey.
Well, Jenny Roebuck has answered that Recycle Racing has done night racing at Donington and Brands with the CSCC. The night race at Donington was actually the very first race that the club streamed. I remember intensely watching that stream when I was new to the club and learning who's who and gathering as much information as I could. They had horrendous weather on the Saturday. It was down the old hairpin was basically a lake, and which is that's where all the water of Donington just runs to, and it was horrendous weather. But Sunday was much more pleasant, and yeah, that was one of the first kind of night races I then spectated, not live, but it was one I then really started to get an appreciation for what people love about night racing. It's something really, really quite magical.
Seeing it for real, Chris. Living up to expectations.
Oh, entirely, absolutely. It's absolutely fantastic, and the atmosphere as well from the people on the ground, the spectators or officials, just really neat to see. It's absolutely fantastic to see. Now I'm having a look at the tower and I'm seeing Renault following his pit stop closing in again. I think Andy Marson's made a mistake somewhere. He suddenly lost because Andy Marson was closing in on Phil Briggs for the lead at one stage, and it looks like that has thrown the little Abarth potentially into the clutches of Manoj Patel in his Civic. We'll see when they next come over the line. One of the difficulties in trying to keep up with racing such as this. I can see Andy Marson actually just on the other side. Oh no, big one, wrong Marson. It was number 6 that I just spotted on the other side of the circuit. That would be assuming that I'd spotted the right one. That's the only negative side of having a rich field such as this. And that was Richard Marson. But trying to keep up with who's where, especially when you've got people on different laps to one another. Well, there goes Manoj Patel, actually with the Blair Roebuck right on his tail. So Andy Marson, has he fallen by the wayside somewhere? Well, there you go. That's just highlighted why Blair Roebuck is right on the tail of the Civic of Manoj Patel. Blair Roebuck has been absolutely flying in the black and yellow, the older style Civic. They're on the other side of the circuit right now. Manoj is really now having to work hard to keep the recycled racing Civic behind.
Very, very much so. And yes, I think that falls under the category. Where on earth did he come from? That the number 2 car in 3rd place, really pushing very hard indeed. Now as they come back down the hill very shortly, briefly into our side.
Well, I've just seen Andy Marson. He's dropped down to 4th, so he's still circulating. I believe he did a 2-minute lap time last time around. So either Malady is hitting, or he's made a series of mistakes. I mean, it could easily be all the visual references completely changed, and you've got a lot of light from other cars. So, what is those watching on stream? The 3 cars that we are primarily looking at should be 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Certainly 2nd and 3rd in that shot. We'll confirm that when they come back to us with only a minute left of this race. It's going to be a shame for this battle to end, really. And Roebuck is ahead of Manoj Patel. So that's 2nd place now in the hands of the number 2 pairing of Blair Roebuck and Sean Ely. The Manoj doesn't even quite have the pace at this stage on the Honda Civics, the old style Civic, winning out on this one. Where Andy Marson has gone. Oh, here he comes. So Andy Marson is quite some distance behind. So there is a problem with that car. He's much quicker than that in the course of the day. He's actually lost out as another 2-minute lap. So something has broke. It's not preventing him from continuing, but something has snapped on the number 59. So James Wilson now up into 4th place, and there you can see the lap time difference on the screen between Blair Roebuck and the incredibly quick Manoj Patel. So Manoj is quick, but Blair Roebuck is absolutely storming at this stage, with Phil Briggs off into the distance again, as he was in race 1, but he unfortunately incurred a penalty, which I believe was a short pit stop penalty, that denied him the victory in the open race of the weekend. No such penalties this time. I'm seeing no penalties on the board for any driver. Phil Briggs has backed off his pace a little bit. He's knowing that he doesn't need to push too hard. His pit crew no doubt informed him of the gap behind, and that car still has another race potential, another session potentially to do, but he's just crossed the line. So the winner of this 3rd session for the Carlsbad Tin Tops and Puba Cup and the Lower Turley Tin Tops is Phil Briggs, and over the line in 2nd, there he comes. He's still being hustled by the Civic. They were both Civic, sorry, by Manoj Patel was Blair Roebuck. So the number 2 team hanging on to 2nd place. A storming effort in this 2nd half of this race. Well done to Sean Ely and Blair Roebuck for recycling. Before any steward's intervention, this is how race 1 season, 3rd session for the Co-op Sport Tin Tops Puma Cup at the moment. Turbo Tin Tops currently sits Phil Briggs in the number 5, Sam Leon taking the top spot. Then it is the Recycle Racing pair, Sean Ely and Blair Roebuck in second. Manos Patel third, James Wilson fourth, Andy Barson just about hanging on to 5th place. Wow, did he really fall very heavily to be 52 seconds behind Phil Briggs. And then Richard Marson in 6th, and Selby Harrison Fiesta in 7th. Then the Francis and Wortley Mini in 8th place, the Spencer and Walker Renault Clio in 9th. Then it's the Baker and Mellor Renault in 10th position. It's John Baker and Nick Mellor. And then